there we go.
ESO Live.
I thought we were doing the intro thing. Where did it go?
You want the intro?
No.
No,
that's
no,
cool.
we're good.
We're start.
Yep.
Here we are. Gosh, that was awkward. Well,
So this is ESO Live. This is our bi-weekly show. For those of you who are joining us today, we do this every other week on Twitch. We're live from the studio. So I am Jessica Folsom, English Community Manager for the Elder Scrolls Online.
I'm Gina Bruno, super awkward, Assistant Community Manager for ESO. It's funny, I was just telling everyone in chat, I'm like, yeah, we're starting soon, you know, T-minus 1 minute, and I guess 1 minute was actually right now.
Well, it's been a really busy couple weeks. We've had console beta going on now, welcome back weekend. So
guys, it's been crazy pants. My
Yep.
brain is just kind of like,
So let's take a look at the show lineup for today. So first we have the upcoming in-game fan events.
After fan events, stop laughing at me. After fan events, we're going to go through the official ESO news.
Then we'll have Life at ZOS with Zone Lead Zeb Cook.
After that, we will do our Ask Us Anything, where we answer questions straight from the forums.
Then we'll have your favorite fan creations showcase, where we look at art and cosplay and sometimes other things submitted by you, our fans.
Then we will get into our live console demo with Gary Boodoo, our lead UI designer.
And of course, we will have the usual giveaways throughout the show, so we hope you'll stay tuned the whole time. Gotta stay till the end. That's when we're taking a look at console. So first up, though, we're going to take a look at the community events that you can participate over the next couple weeks. All right, so every week we have fan-run events on the North American and European mega servers in the Elder Scrolls Online, and I'm sure soon we'll have some on console as well. So let's take a look at what you can attend in Tamriel over the next couple weeks. So first we have House Indarin hosts Night at the Nyx. This is a relaxing evening of drinking and socialization at the Flaming Nyx in Mournhold. This is Friday, April 24th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the North American mega server.
We have the Festival of Fame. This is a new one. It's going to be on Saturday, April 25th at 5:45 p.m. GMT. Very precise. You want to not 6, guys. 5:45. Basically, these are just folks kind of gathering, sharing some tales about tragedy and victory, loss to all Khajiit willing to listen. Looks like it might rain, potentially.
Next up is the Cyrodiil Underground Fight Club, which you should never talk about except right now, because you have to know about it. This is happening on Sunday, April 26th at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time. This is in Cyrodiil. All alliances are welcome. And this is on the North American mega server. Boy, that's going to turn into a brawl.
Jester's Day Costume Party. This is happening on Tuesday, April 28th at 7 p.m. GMT on the European mega server. This is for all Daggerfall Covenant members to join a festive costume party. Wear your best, most fantastical outfit.
It must be fantastical. The weekly underground market is happening next on Tuesday, April 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. This is in High Rock. This is Daggerfall Covenant members and on the North American mega server. And that's it. That is it for our events.
Next, we are going to get into some recent news. And we're back. Going to talk about some news. So last Monday we released patch 2.0.6 on the North American and European mega servers. And this coming up Monday we're going to be releasing patch 2.0.7. So we have a couple patch notes that we can share with you. This isn't everything. It's not everything. Trying to find my place. Here we go. So we have a few fixes going in for dismounting. Seems there's issues when you try and mount up, you get dismounted, wrong animations all over the place. So that will all be fixed on Monday. We have heard there is an issue where if you have fear effects on you, you actually go through the world.
But not all the way to oblivion.
Not all the way, but far enough that it's not intended. So this will finally be fixed on Monday. And also, last week for patch 2.0.6, we had reduced some of the number of lootable Dwemer containers that you can get in some areas. And we had said that we are working on boosting Dwemer containers in other areas. So this is actually going to be happening on Monday in a handful of different Dwemer areas, and we'll be listing out which ones and by how much. So it's happening. For real.
So last, gosh, I think it was Thursday, and going through this Monday, we had the Welcome Back weekend where we welcomed back any beta players who had not previously purchased ESO. We saw some great activity through the Welcome Back weekend. We also had the Cinched Leopard for sale throughout the weekend, and we see a lot of people running around in those in Tamriel now. We did advertise that in-game with some messages, and we certainly heard our community loud and clear that they did not like seeing those messages. So in case you haven't heard, we will not be doing the in-game messages to advertise Crown Store sales or limited items anymore. We will be looking for more intuitive ways to do that in the future.
We will still have in-game messages like if the server's going down, but not
for advertisements.
Not advertising. It's true. So, you may have heard that console beta started yesterday.
What?
What? It did. We sent out some invites if you were lucky enough to participate. We do have some streamers right now kind of going through just their whole console experience and what they're seeing. I don't know.
It's been really good.
Yeah, it has been good. It's been really cool just kind of seeing people finally jumping in and trying out console and just seeing how much they enjoy it.
Some familiar faces, some new.
And of course, we will be showing console during this show a little bit later. So stay tuned.
So also we have the Tales of Tamriel Book 1, The Land, finally is for sale as of
there it is.
A little earlier this week. This was previously for pre-sale on the Bethesda store. It is now for sale on the Bethesda store as well as on Amazon. So we certainly recommend picking it up. It's a really nice book. I wish I had one here to show you guys, but it's, you have to take my word for it.
I have one upstairs.
I know.
I totally forgot.
It's very nice, and I think the price is actually pretty good too, although I'm having a hard time remembering what it was. So Bethesda store and Amazon for that one.
What else do we have going on? Our fan art contest is underway. We've been receiving some really cool entries. This is for the Collectible Creatures fan art contest.
We love getting the entries. I think we have a few to look at.
Yeah, we do. So the basic gist of this contest is to draw your favorite creature from
pet
ESO. It can be a mount, vanity pet, combat pet even, whatever you want. So yeah, we just wanted to show a couple of entries that we've received so far. This is Dova Pet Cat riding a guar.
There's a lot of detail in this one.
It is so cute. What's the next one? Pony Guar playing with his toys.
Oh boy, I think I've seen dogs doing this too, and cats, huh?
I can't even buy stuffed animals anymore for my dog. We'll just rip out the squeaker immediately.
Short toothed little legs. Looks like a little bantam guar.
Yes. Creepy but Cute by Jessica Dunn. This is a watercolor painting that she did.
That's awesome. A blue
mud crab.
Blue mud crab.
I would say creepy but delicious.
Yeah.
So don't forget, get your submissions in by next Sunday, May 3rd. We will be closing entries at midnight at that point.
Yep.
And then we will be choosing and announcing the winners on a future ESO Live, but I don't remember the date.
It's not the May 8th one, it's the
May
one after
something.
that.
May later. May soon. Anyway, we're going to do our first giveaway for today. What is it? Where is it?
It's a leather notebook.
Here it is. Leather notebook. Woohoo! So the special word that you type into chat, moo.
Moo.
What is
Like a
that
cow.
supposed to mean?
Do they have to put a question mark at the end of it?
No.
Well, no,
no.
just moo. With 2 O's, M-O-O.
Moo.
Why moo? Who came up with that?
I don't know.
Jason.
Jason. Definitely Jason.
What?
It's
Oh,
leather.
because,
Oh,
it's
because
leather.
it's leather. Real leather.
Is it real leather? I wouldn't
See
make
the
that
inside.
claim.
I have notes in there, so nobody
Oh.
wants to see that.
Really?
Some.
You sure?
Well, it depends what it says. Oh, everyone's mooing in chat now.
It's nice.
It is cool.
Oh, and look, you could even replace. You could use the cover and replace it with another notebook once
If
you
you
fill it
have
up.
the exact size.
Yeah. It's very nice. Oh, it's got Bethesda and Zenimax down here. Okay.
Moo.
Who's our winner?
I don't know. I'm going to read my notes. Ooh, talk to Matt Firer. Up here's something that we say on the forums all the time, still investigating. See, it's even in our notes. Anyway. All right, the winner is Knick-Knack Snake. Congratulations.
Knick-Knack Snake. I want to know what he collects as a snake who collects knickknacks.
Knickknacks. Patty wax. Do you give a dog a bone? Anyway, Jason will be in touch with you on Twitch chat. Check your spam folder in case you're not following us. You'll get a new copy, not the one with our fingerprints all over it.
And Gina's secret notes.
Secret notes.
It's really her diary.
Talk to Matt Firer is in my diary. All right, so coming up next, we're going to dive into our Life at Sauce segment with Zeb Cook.
Hey-ho.
All right, so welcome, Zeb. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello.
I love this shirt.
Oh, yeah, well, I
That
have
is
to
great.
maintain the tradition of T-shirts for the show.
Yeah, that's great. So you are a zone lead here at ZOS. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that means?
So, obviously, we've got like 16, 17 zones. They all had to be built by people.
What?
It's a big,
No way.
yeah, it's amazing. I know. we couldn't get machines to do it all. It's a big. It takes a big team to do it. It's we've got 4 or 5 content designers, and then we have encounter designers, and there are world builders, and basically the zone lead. Our jobs are to coordinate with all that, come up with kind of the zone's overall zone story, work out all the objectives, and then review, approve, improve, spend lots of time playing, polishing, and then tracking down where all the assets are, and making sure it all comes together, and give a good experience for people.
Yeah. So I know you have quite a history. Can you tell us a little bit how you sort of broke into this industry and eventually
I know
landed here
you're
at
very
ZOS?
famous among tabletop gaming
Yeah.
circles.
Yes.
So the history goes way back to 1979. Now I'm going to make myself really old here at this point. And I had been playing Dungeons and Dragons and working as a teacher, not a very satisfying job for me at least. And I got hired to work at TSR on Dungeons and Dragons, and worked for them for 15 years. Did a lot of big things, shiny things.
How many different editions did you go through?
Well, I got hired when they were just launching the original AD&D system. I wrote the AD&D second edition and left before 3.0 came out. And then I also worked on like Basic and Expert and a whole bunch of other things. And there were very few game systems I didn't get to do something on. And then I went over to video games because that looked like the shiny future.
Because they're fun.
And wound up moving cross country a whole lot because I'd go to studios and either projects would get finished or there wouldn't be another job or somebody would offer me a better job and a few unfortunate cases where studios just kind of collapsed.
Yeah.
And in fact I was in Austin at a place that the studio went bankrupt, and so that's how I wound up at Zenimax, and got to work basically on Elder Scrolls, which is like, hey, this is, I had been working in MMOs for a little while at that point, and I really like them, and this is a fantasy MMO. I think I kind of understand a bunch of this stuff.
You've been here for quite a while, right?
Oh, God, now I have to go back. Yeah, I've been
At
here
least
6 years now.
Oh.
Yeah.
5 or
Okay.
6 years now. I think it's 2009 I think
Yeah.
is when I started. So, yeah. And,
One of the old guard.
yeah. Seen a lot of people. Yeah. So that's pretty much how I got here.
Great.
Everyone in chat is like, oh my God, it's Seb.
I'm not quite sure what that means.
It's good. They're excited. So what have you worked on while you've been here at SOS?
Well, 6 years, you work on a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
that never saw the light of day, multiple iterations of like, this zone or that zone, oh, we're not going to ship that zone, let's go do it again, let's go do something else. But in the stuff that actually made it into the game, spent quite a bit of time working in, doing a lot of polish and really bringing, because over 6 years, things you did originally are no longer quite up to the standard of the things you're doing towards the end. Spent a lot
Sure.
of time bringing older zones up to snuff and all this sort of stuff, and so that included Bankerai, Stormhaven, let's see,
Glenumbra?
Green Shade, we did Glenumbra. We did most of the Daggerfall. The only one we didn't do in Daggerfall was Rivenspire. Another team was actually working on that one. Alakir, we did a lot on Alakir. And then we did some of the stuff over in Deshan too. We'd spent some time over in Deshan. So there was a lot of like running
Been
around
all
doing
over the
that.
place.
Yeah. So I
And-
know it varies, but like how long would you say it takes approximately to make into a full zone, like start to finish?
For a whole zone start to finish, assuming that art has to start even before we do.
Yeah.
But for us, it's a four month or more, sometimes maybe even a 5 month process, but that's kind of bad. But about a 4 month process to do everything, and then after that, there's still time where you want to do polishing and bug fixing and all that. Hopefully, you don't have a lot of bugs, but you will.
Bugs happen.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a long time, and I've got 9 people or so that are basically I'm working with. Plus, again, when we have our review meetings, we've got like 40 people in there because we have all the art teams and everybody else to kind of like go over everything. And so it's a lot of people.
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah. So what teams are usually involved in creating a new zone?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Oh, what teams are usually involved? You said art and design.
So basically, usually creating a new zone comes down to the creative director and the content director and the zone leads kind of figure out, well, what is it? What do we want to do? What is it going to be? We're going to do Alakir. Or in our case, are we going to do Rothgar? And you want to pick out, well, what's the theme? What's the look? All this sort of art obviously has their things that they want to make and do. You take all that, and then once that's kind of decided, that really, really basic, like it's going to be a zone about orcs, okay. The zone lead goes off and usually has a writer that he consults with, and you work out like, well, what do we want the story to be here? What do we want? What's going to be in this zone?
The
And that's
overarching story, yeah.
So you figure out what the overarching story is, and then you figure out like, well, what are some of the key locations we want? What are some of the other neat objectives that we want to do? You get ideas from art about things that they would like to build, or they've already built a whole bunch of they build a bunch of architecture and things. It's like, what can we do with this stuff? And then from that, you put that together in a proposal, and that goes back up and gets reviewed. It gets modified, changed until everybody says, okay, this is what we think this zone should be. Then you have a team. You've got your content designers and everything, and it's kind of like, let's go over all of this. And a lot of them have been involved in kind of figuring out all these steps at various points because you know who's going to be on your team. And it's like, okay, now we got to break this out into detail, and that goes off to the team members for them to say, okay, you've got this objective, you're really interested in it, put that together, and because they want to be invested too. They want to have their say about what happens and all this sort of stuff. Come up with a good story here. We had like 3 sentences about what was going on here. Come up with a good story, a good batch of quests, and then that comes back. We go through all that, we review all that, and then finally you can actually start building stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's like a big collective storytelling.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot, and the challenge for the zone lead is try and make sure that everybody's moving in the same direction through that process.
Keep it cohesive, yeah.
And make sure it all kind of makes sense, but at the same time doesn't all feel the same.
Okay.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Very thorough. So what's sort of just your favorite part of the job and working here as a zone lead?
The favorite part of the job is just working with so many different people.
It's being here.
Yeah, being in this room right here. It's great. And there's a lot of really interesting people, and it's the fact that every day is different. Some days it's a crisis, some days it's not, but it's not like I'm going in and like looking at the same thing every day. It's, there are hundreds of different things you get to do that you never expect. And that's part of the fun.
Awesome.
Indeed.
Having difference is definitely fun. So if somebody wanted to get into what you do, I guess it'd be design in this case, what advice would you give them?
This is kind of like, so we all get involved in like in interviews and like when we're hiring people, and so there are things we look for, and we've hired everything from people who've worked at other game companies to some people who have actually just coming in, it's their first real game company job. And so the things that you look for in that case are, you want to look for somebody, obviously everybody goes like, I got great ideas, that's wonderful, but great ideas are the smallest part really of what we have to do. It's being able to take that idea and bring it to some kind of presentable stage, something that's interesting. So if we're looking at somebody who hasn't worked in a game company, a lot of what you want to know is like, have you gone off and done mods? Have you built something? Have you actually spent some time with any company's game tools?
Kind of a proof of concept.
Show some stuff. Show that you like can really go through and do the process. The other thing you look at is well, can you think through a problem? If we say, hey, here's a situation, we love to do this. We'll set up some kind of situation. Like, you got a question that's got this amount of X, Y, and Z, and so think about like, well, what would you do to solve this problem? It's like your boss says it's too repetitive, or and then there's no right or wrong answer. Well, there's probably a wrong answer. But there's no real right answer to it, but it's more a matter of like, can you respond quickly? Can you show some thought processes that people are looking at and this sort of stuff. Other things, oddly enough, although we've spent a lot of time in our custom built editors using and doing a lot of kind of scripting languagey kind of stuff, but things that are really can you write clearly? English writing is actually important, because a good part of what you're going to have to do is basically explain things to people.
And concise too, right?
Yeah, you're going to have to explain to the artist, this is what I want. You're going to have to explain to, you're going to have to pitch your story and make it something that somebody feels, yeah, I want to do that.
It's a good communicator.
And these are all written documents and emails and stuff like that, and yeah, being able to like present your ideas clearly is a big help.
What about having a beard? Is that a prerequisite?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. We just like, first thing we look at them, no beard. Yeah.
Clean shaven, get out of here. So you mentioned Orsinium and Rothgar, and everyone's all excited. So can you talk at all about what you're currently working on?
Orsinium and Rothgar.
There you have it.
Amazingly enough, yes. Yeah, we're right in the middle right now of the process of putting it all together. So not a lot has been said about it, but basically up to now the orcs haven't had a lot of love in Elder Scrolls, both kind of figuratively and literally, just for the amount of resource time that we've been able to spend to it. So we wanted to do a zone that was really for orcs and about orcs, but and to really kind of tell their story and get some of their personality and some visuals and all this sort of stuff put together that really is an interesting thing. And so I don't want to go into a lot of details about like what happens in this sort of stuff, but it is, I'll tell you right now, it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous looking zone.
Oh man.
Yeah, we've
Such a
seen
tease.
some of the footage, but you say it's...
Yeah, the footage is even better now.
Oh, that's awesome.
The stuff that we've got now is even better, because we've got more stuff to work with, and it's really their world builders are filling it all out. And we wanted to focus in some ways, a little bit of teeth. We wanted to focus on a story that's much more grounded and down to earth. We've had a main story through Elder Scrolls where you save the world, then we've had other zones where you save the world again. We wanted to do something that was, well, you're not saving the world, but it's a really, a much more, kind of political and focused story about orcs and kind of what's involved being orcs.
Interesting. Well, we have a couple questions from chat. They're kind of just wondering what the first zone that you worked on and your favorite zone that you've worked on.
Ooh.
Well, my favorite zone is always the one I'm working on right now. But probably of the ones that are actually out there, favorite zones, that's really tough. It's probably either Alakir or Bankarai, because they had real particular challenges to them, and we had to come up with some creative ways to solve some of the things. So those are probably my two favorite zones. The first zone we worked on, that actually again saw the light of day, kind of a thing. I'm trying to remember if it was, I think it was Stormhaven was the first one where we really went in to do this, like we got to go through and do a full update. And that involved reworking quests, adding in new art, and in some cases going like, well, the main story here is getting lost in the weeds, and trying to pull it back and give it some stuff, and going like, hey, we got new tricks and stuff we can do. Let's add some of those things in too.
Yeah, I guess that's always one of the challenges of working on an MMO is as you work on it, the technology gets better and you learn new things about the tools, and then you want to go back and add those because it makes it better.
Yeah, it's like, and then after a while, you go back and look at I'm sure if I went back now and looked at some of those zones, I'd be going like, oh, we can do that. We could.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying they want your beard in the Crown store.
We'll get right on it.
I think we can make that happen.
The Zeb beard. And I even saw somebody who was scrolling by in chat super fast. They now call the company Zenimax.
I think that would not go over well with some people.
Hamburglar was asking, this might be too much of a spoiler, but how big is Orsinium compared to other zones that currently exist?
Actually, Orsinium's going to be about as large as all the other zones that we've done. We wanted to, and it's, we wanted to give it enough space for players to do stuff and have a good time. And so this one is, about this. It's comparable to most of the other zones in size, and about the same in content too, I think.
Okay.
So exciting.
I know one of the things that I've heard about, and maybe you can touch on a little bit, is how we've done more with heights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you've seen the pictures of of Orsinium that they've shown of the city and stuff, we're doing a lot more things in the cities even and out in the terrain. It's a very mountainous zone, so like Orsinium, the capital you go to, is built into the side of a mountain, and so there's a lot of different levels and layers.
It's a lot more vertical.
There's a lot more vertical. There's a lot of reasons to look up, and it makes for really strong, interesting visuals. We got big towers and all sorts of stuff, and plus, you've got, I'll run up here and then I'll go over there, and on walkways that kind of take you around. And it is going to be, we're working on right now on helping with the challenge of being able to navigate and go around through this, because when a city's kind of all flat and laid out like that, it doesn't have that 3D challenge of going like, oh, I want to go over there, I got to run up over here and up that stairs and that way, kind of a thing. But it makes
fun to explore.
But it makes, again, it's a lot more fun place to run around in, and it's really visually a really stunning place.
Okay.
It is. Sorry, had to. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
It's great to have you, and I'm sure everyone is really excited to see Orsinium.
I'm looking forward to playing it.
I know.
I'm excited to see it done.
Well, coming up next, we are going to get into our Ask Us Anything, where we're going to answer some of your questions.
let's get into our Ask Us Anything. I think we've got
Getting right
a lot
into
of good
it.
questions.
Yes, and again, this is all coming from the forum thread on the forums.
I think we pulled a
Awkward.
few from some questions about console too.
Yeah, we did pull a couple that we just kind of wanted to clear up. So, first question from Bardicus Spiffy. Have you ever thought of having contests where the players would design a suit of armor, a piece of armor, or maybe a shield, and the winners would have their designs added to the game world as a motif, similar to drummer motifs that could be found in the game? That is a really cool idea. We will definitely consider something like that after our fan art contest is completed, when we start brainstorming what the next exciting contest will be.
Maybe a new costume. That'd
Yes.
be fun. So next question is by Channel Tribes. On the ESO Home website, it shows the classes, a short description of them, and a screenshot of what appeared to be the PvP concept art from the QuakeCon. I think it was QuakeCon last year, or was it the year before?
It was 2 years ago
Yeah.
now, I think.
So from QuakeCon a couple years ago in the game, is this the same armor we saw from QuakeCon for PvP players? If so, when can we expect to see it live in the game? You are correct. That is the armor that you saw from QuakeCon. These are the same concepts that were there. And while we don't have an ETA for exactly when these will go into the game, you will be able to get these armor pieces in a future update.
Maybe it was last year. I've been sitting here thinking about
I
it.
know.
Everything's just blurring together. Remember what we said about our brains? Just Anyway, next question from Miss Biz, asking, it has been noticed that on the console beta, players have 16 character slots rather than 8. Will PC players have 16 character slots in the future? Well, sorry to say, this is actually a bug. You should only have 8 character slots on console, and that's how it'll be when it launches. And currently, if you try and make more than 8 characters from beta, you're going to get some sort of error message, so you can't actually do it. And if anyone is finding otherwise, please let us know.
This is from Argonia Wind. Will you guys make a Daedroth pet and a summoning feature like I was able to do in Morrowind and Oblivion? Also, I would love to see shirts and plushy Daedroths.
Oh, me too.
Daedroths need to be a bigger part of the game. There's actually an item set that you can gain from the Undaunted called Maw of the Infernal that summons a Daedroth for 15 seconds. You don't see him around much because the set isn't quite powerful enough. We'll be addressing this in the next major update. In terms of a Daedroth plushie, we haven't announced what our next plushie will be, but keep the suggestions coming.
Oh, little cuddly Daedroth.
Yes.
If that's even a thing. All right, the next question is from Anazi. Close enough, I'm sorry. Is it possible to get information posted in the patch notes when new versions of gear are added to live? It would really help players who are waiting for these new level versions. We will definitely make sure new item sets are listed in the patch notes when they are available. For what it's worth, we are actually working on about 20 new high-level item sets for our next major content update.
Sweet. This
Lots of
question
goodies.
is from She's a Beast. Nice name. Curious minds want to know, well, at least mine, why do we have no Mundus Stone for stamina regen? Even our question answerer really liked your name. You do make a fair point about the Stamina Mundus Stone. It makes sense to have a Stamina Regeneration Stone since the Atronach gives magic gun regeneration. This is something we will look into further.
There you have it. Mercy Killing has the next question. When are we actually going to be able to use those achievement points we've been accumulating all this time, and what on? We would really like to do more with these, but we don't actually have any immediate plans to do so at this time.
Work in progress. This is by Halloween. I recall that during Update 6 on PTS, racial passive skills would receive a rebalance sometime after Update 6. Is this planned for the next major update after console release, or for an incremental patch? We want to release balance updates to the racial passives at the same time we allow players to respec their race. Otherwise, it's unfair for everyone if one race was a poor mage at launch and then becomes one of the top choices. For the next major update, we'll make some minor adjustments to the least popular racials.
You know, somebody in chat is suggesting we have a Zeb beard plush as our next plushie.
Just the beard?
That'd be kind of weird, right? Just a little plush beard.
Well, maybe it's something you can put on, like the Dovahkian beard.
Yep. Or I think even we had a Nord hat that had a giant beard.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Can't resist. Max Shadow asking, there is a hide helm option in the game settings. Can there be an option or a sub-option for bound armor in the Daedric summoning tree on the sorcerer class to hide the visual? I use that ability often, and I also like that style gear I wear and was wondering if there can be an option to hide it. That was Max Shadow saying I use that ability. Anyway. Short answer, we don't really have any plans right now to offer that.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. This is by Chris Buttar. Will the PS4
Keep it together, Gina.
Will the PS4 version
I just like the way you said it.
Okay. Will the PS4 version support keyboard and mouse? The console version of ESO will not support a mouse. It will support a keyboard, but solely for text input in areas such as naming your guild and submitting a support ticket. The game will fully support voice chat on both Xbox One and PS4.
Next question, Fran369B14_ESO asking, will the console UI include features such as buff and debuff icons, floating combat text, map additions such as book and or shard locations? My virus definitions are up to date. Thank you, computer. It keeps popping up and it won't go away. So add-ons are not actually supported in the console version of ESO, but you are going to at least be able to view buffs and debuffs in the UI, which we will show you a little bit later in today's show.
Okay.
That's it.
Good. This is also by Mercy Killing. Okay, so we get that we're not going to get an auction house, ever. How about removing the guild membership requirement in order to sell at kiosks? Player guilds are actually an integral part of our world, and trader access is a key benefit to guild membership. We don't have any plans to change this at this time.
Okay. Oh, man.
Randolph Benoit?
Yes, and I feel bad because I totally mispronounced it during the last show. I called him Benoit, but it's Benoit. Can we unlock Emperor's Regalia costume for outside Cyrodiil for all players when we reach 10,000 achievement points, or maybe add it to the Crown Store? It's really important for us to maintain offering meaningful and distinct rewards for very significant achievements like this one. That said, we may consider at some point making a variant available through some sort of other means.
All right. This is by Hero Mofo.
My new official favorite name that I have ever heard.
Yes. Is it possible to see our costumes and transmorgs get... What? Is it possible to see our costumes and transmorgs get the dye treatment?
You can do it.
This is a word of law. We don't currently have any plans to offer something like this, but it's a really cool idea.
Shogunami, do you have any plans on adding disguises and trophies to collections? As it is right now, disguises and trophies only take up space in the bank or inventory. We absolutely plan to expand the collection system in the future. Things like dungeon trophies are really a prime candidate for this sort of conversion. Disguises are a little bit trickier due to the inherent mechanical effects, such as affecting NPC aggro and being destroyed when attacked. But we might look into some sort of other options to support something like this in the future.
Mm-hmm. Such as making a costume version of a disguise. All right, one is from Aether Darius. Are there any plans for meeting lore-established characters? I've seen a fair bit of talk in Ebonheart Pact Zones wanting to meet Vivek and Divyath, apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, Divyathfir, or a less grotesque version of Yagram Vagarn. So Frastus of Elenir says, oh, everyone has heard of Vivek. He makes certain of that. And he's bound to reappear sometime soon with more egocentric blather about his mystic exploits. I myself have corresponded with Divath Blear. fear, excuse me, but he tends to keep to himself in his fungal tower. But that's a Telvanni wizard for you. Yagrim Bagarn? Never heard of him.
A fungal tower. Gross.
Fungal tower.
We have a fungal grotto.
Well, you know, they have those.
I guess, but a
Fungal
tower?
tower in your fungal grotto.
Oh my, gross. Anyway. All right, the last.
Take it to bad places.
I don't know, man. Fungal tower sounds nasty. Sakadun asking, why are we asked to provide a lot of detail on frequently occurring and easily reproducible issues? For example, if we say our mounts consistently stop, why not have someone exhaust test it? It may only have taken us a few minutes to collect the information, and many of us do like to help, but that's not the point. Well, Sakadon, there are potentially a number of factors that could be causing that particular bug. It might not be as simple as get on a mount, run, and then you're going to stop. There could be really specific details that are actually causing that bug to happen, like a specific race, class, gender, armor, active buffs either on you or the weapon. If you're sprinting, jumping 3 times, if there's other people around, you get the point. There's really almost endless factors to finding something like this. So including all the details you can really increases our chances of reproducing the issues sooner. We do always try to reproduce issues internally that we see reported, but sometimes it's really just not as easy as it seems. And sometimes there's just that one key ingredient missing. So when reporting issues, there is no such thing as too much information.
Mm-hmm. It's very true. And every once in a while, there's a bug that will only happen on live.
That's true.
Those are really tough.
Yes.
All right, so that is it for our Q&A for today. I think it's time for a giveaway. What do you think?
Is it? Yes.
Okay.
What are we going to do?
Pick codes.
Pick codes. Little bristlegut piglets that you can see on your screen now. So the word that Jason chose is porky.
I see a theme.
I am seeing a trend here.
He's hungry.
Porky. P-O-R-K-Y. Not I-E. So type that into chat, and we will be giving away, gosh, how many?
3.
3?
Mm-hmm.
3, Jason.
Now these little guys, for anybody who hasn't been with us since Update 6, do go into your collections area, so they don't take up a spot in your inventory space, or in your inventory.
Woo.
And they are accessible to all of your characters.
So we have our first winner for the bristlegut piglet. It's going to be Jacome with a 0 instead of an O.
Congrats.
Congrats, Jacome. And second winner is going to be Kyle 82nd.
Congrats, Kyle.
I guess there's 81 other Kyles, but this is going to be the 82nd one. And the last winner for our pig is CopDub 4.
Sure.
Or ChopDub with a K. Either way, congratulations to you 3. As usual, Jason will be in touch. If he's not in touch right away, he will be either after the show, potentially Monday morning, but he will be, we promise.
So next up, we're going to take a look at some of our fan creations submitted by you, our community.
Yeah.
All right, so we always love getting submissions of fan art, cosplay, tattoos from you, our community. We actually did just recently see a really cool Ouroboros tattoo. So we have a few for you to take a look at this time. So let's look at the offerings. All right, so this is Delmadrin Telvanni. This is by Legend of Lemon. And so this is a note from the author, or not the author, the artist. He says, yet another one of my Elder Scrolls Online characters. This time it's my ex-Telvanni failure of a mage named Dell. Some people occasionally call him Blue. If you're wondering what in Oblivion he's wearing, it's some weird cross between the ESO Dunmer light armor and the Telvanni robes from the Dragonborn DLC in Skyrim. Did he steal these robes before he left the house as a way to spite the rest of his family, or is this some crazy alternative universe in which he's still a part of? Who knows? I shall let you decide. Either way, this was a fun drawing to do.
Aww. Well, it's a very cool drawing too. This is a commission painting, ESO original characters by Antar0178. This commission piece, the artist actually created upon request, featuring the player's characters.
I like it.
It's very,
I really like the sky in the
it's very
background.
Titanic-ish.
It is.
Antar, my heart will go on.
This is Sabir by Prath Darkworm, who we see a lot of art from. We love it.
How do you draw these things so fast? Gosh.
So this is adventurer, bartender, and former bandit Sabir. She's a Khajiit that doesn't let the opinions of her clan dictate her actions. The character belongs to Guitar Nerd of the Sugar Claw clan. I recognize that name.
I do too.
Khajiit RP Guild.
Yep. Next, we have ESO Tribute by Malrian. This was found on DeviantArt. This is a drawing based on our most recent cinematic trailer.
That is
Spoiler alert.
really amazing shading.
Yes. Sorry. Every time I hear shading, I think Napoleon Dynamite. Shading of her upper lip. Anyway.
This one is titled Stubborn Patient. This is by Jani Koniko-chan on DeviantArt. And she wrote, these are my two characters from Elder Scrolls Online. They are ancestors of my other Elder Scrolls characters. Messinius, blonde wood elf, is part of the Brackenleaf Briars, who are protecting the sacred tree from outsiders. And Sayurika, the red-headed wood elf, was raised in Somerset Isles along the High Elves and learned alchemy among those snobbish gold elves who were good at magic.
You guys are awesome at drawing.
Yeah.
So here's Sings in Shade by Sings in Shade. This was found on Tesso RP. You may be wondering what the heck is going on here.
Yes, I was.
I bet you were, CJ. So the original sketch is actually on the right. The artist Baby kind of decided to contribute to it a little bit. And he managed to salvage the drawing, which you see on the left.
Baby decided it needed more red.
Needed some color. Future artist right there.
So this is the last one, featuring our very own Gina by Slayer Serena. It is titled To Adventure, and this was a gift from Slayer Serena for our 1-year anniversary. And
Gina, I demand you start dyeing your hair like that.
I would love to.
Immediately.
Yes.
Slayer Selena wrote, "Today is the Elder Scrolls Online first anniversary / birthday. I put this comic together as a thank you to the Zenimax team. They have been wonderful in supporting the community. I really appreciate all the times they have featured my artwork." We love your artwork. "I always get a thrill when I see my ESO fan art on the Tamriel Chronicle or ESO Live. Thanks so much, Sauce."
I don't actually remember why I turned into a centaur, but
I don't either, but
it was
it's kind
something
of a thing now.
back
Because it's
in
metal, that's why.
it was back in PC beta, and I just can't remember. Anyway, it's my new Facebook profile picture. So thanks, Serena. This is actually back when we did the Stray Cat segment on ESO Live. We had a winner who received the Hero's Guide from us, which a few of us sent, and he just wanted to show that he's got it displayed right next to his Imperial Edition. And it's
That
cool.
is awesome.
It's cool.
All right, so that wraps up our fan art.
Indeed it does. And next we're going to get into what you've all been waiting for. Bathroom break?
Yeah.
Console. Console live footage coming up next. We're back with these guys.
Yay.
So joining us for our console gameplay is going to be Gary and Vlad, whose name I never remember. I'm sorry. So we are going to be playing through on PS4, joining everybody that's currently in beta. So you'll see some other players kind of running around.
Yep, on the North
with
American
them.
beta server.
Yep. So just for starters, guys, do you just want to tell everyone sort of what you do here at Sauce and for ESO? Gary, if you want to go first.
Sure. Hi, my name is Gary Voodoo. I'm the lead user interface designer on the Elder Scrolls Online. That's a lot of different things, but basically I created the visual language and designed the interface systems to support a fun and fluid console experience. I work with a great team of game designers, artists, engineers, QA, and production people to implement and evaluate gameplay features.
You do it all, Gary.
Well, I have a lot of help.
Vlad, what do you do here?
What do you?
Hi, I'm Vlad. I'm a senior QA tester, and I verify a lot of the content that you guys play. And I'm also on the console team as well, and we're making sure you guys get a good console release.
Woo, awesome. Can somebody get Vlad his controller?
Oh yeah.
You guys want to actually see
How bad
gameplay,
does he
right?
want it?
Really bad.
Thanks.
All right, so what are we going to start out with here? Looks like we're going to do some character creation first.
Yeah, we'll show off some character creation, a little bit of how it's different from PC. We got some different UI going on. Maybe
All right.
maybe we could show it. There it is.
Yay.
All right.
So way different UI than what is currently live on PC, but still all the same options, right?
That is correct. Yeah, it's surfaced differently, just because you're using a gamepad instead of keyboard and mouse. But everything you're familiar with from the PC product is in here as well.
Right on.
I like because you have all the selections down there at the bottom that are mapped to the keys.
And again, this is on PS4, but PS4 and Xbox One is exactly the same, just different
Buttons.
icons for the buttons. What do you guys think? What should Vlad make here? You guys can
What kind of character?
contribute to our fun. There's a little bit of chat lag though.
Oh, okay. So it looks like you can check out a character in early armor, veteran armor, no armor, just like on PC and Mac. You can also randomize.
I'll zoom in on that guy if you would.
Sure.
Okay, now chat's going crazy, but unfortunately I can't read very fast. So we'll just go with the very first one, make Daggerfall. And how about, can you do an Argonian?
Going in? Sure.
Do it. There he is.
All right.
Scary. Pretty good.
Let's make me a Templar.
Why not? Full of muscle. So yeah, you have all the same options here. Did you just give him a big gut?
Yep.
Yep.
One of these.
Make Gandalf. You guys.
So Gary, what did you guys? What was the focus in creating this experience between PC and Mac and console? Like, what were some of the main differences you guys were looking to make?
Well, we certainly wanted to maintain the same functionality, but we, our design goals for this were not hugely different than what we did on PC. It's very much character creation. For a lot of people, you'll spend like a lot of time in this screen. I certainly do. But there's nothing preventing you from just kind of going with the first character that shows up in here. You can create and name a character without any further modification at all. But for those people who like to go a bit further, what I really like is being able to ask, what if? And for me, that comes down to selective randomization of parameters. For example, chin size. Let's say that we've locked that in. I can never really tell with Argonians, quite frankly. I tend to play like a Khajiit, but nonetheless, by locking various parameters, sometimes locking all of them, and then unlocking like a single parameter, I think it's really interesting to then start randomizing and seeing how variations of, like, say, 3 to even 1 parameter can help you sort of hone in on a look that you might not have thought that you wanted, but as you see it developing, you're like, oh yeah, I'll go with it. So I really like building up like layers of detail, like on these characters through selective randomization. But this screen is not hugely different than what we do on the PC. It's obviously, you know, very similar to what we do, what Bethesda's done with Skyrim as well. That was very much of an inspiration in working on this.
Definitely a lot of options still.
All right, well, let's jump into the tutorial. Ooh, enter your name. What's it going to be?
What should the name
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
We should have
Pressure.
created like an automatic name generator. This can take a while to figure out the right
be?
name.
Who's a fan of Lost?
How about
Me. Oh man, what? I miss Lost.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And of course, anyone who didn't see Lost is like, what does this mean?
It's not Penny's boat.
All right.
So we're just going to jump into tutorial for a couple minutes, just kind of show you, I don't know, the tutorial, some basic controls, what the tutorial is.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it,
But we won't play through the whole thing. We don't want to spoil the story for you. For those who haven't.
oh,
Oh.
the stress test is complete. Well,
Well.
thank goodness for that.
Yeah, earlier today, in fact, it looks like not too long ago, we were running a stress test on the login server to make sure that it works perfectly. So
Could handle
Yeah.
everyone logging in.
to handle everybody hammering on the login at once, which will definitely happen at launch.
Oh, she's breaking
Hello,
out.
Mira.
Still got some fight.
Thanks for this. You're the
I
best.
need it. Dead. Must have been the runt of the litter.
So as you run through, for anyone who hasn't had a chance to try ESO yet, you will get little pop-ups kind of helping you out and showing you how to play.
The benefit
and
to
you got
do-
mail.
Be ready and
Yep.
stay sharp. This place is full of surprises.
Let's check it out.
I'm actually really curious what your mail is. Oh, it's like tutorial
Oh.
mail.
Oh no!
Get him, Flood.
Keep moving. There are more
So one of the
dangers on
benefits
way.
of going through this
Oh,
tutorial
that's
is not only does it
Let's keep moving.
teach you how to play, but you also can get some of your first gear. You can get lockpicks, some early experience. So it looks like, Gary, you guys have definitely added the necessary Xbox and/or PS4 buttons to all the prompts that come up. That's nice. Otherwise, the UI pretty much looks the same.
And we will be taking a couple questions from chat, just kind of as we see them, and that's it. Somebody was asking how saving works, since you know this is Elder Scrolls on console, but it's a lot different on a single-player game.
Oh yeah, saving isn't really
Let's get
a
out of here, my
thing.
friend.
We're constantly
Profit.
basically all of the action is taking place on the server, and it's being rendered in the client. So I mean, if we were to quit the game like right now, you would just pick it up where you left it off. It just it's persistent.
There is no save button.
Yeah,
But it dynamically saves exactly where you're at.
exactly.
That's
so.
awesome.
The first time I
These
played an
times-
MMO, actually, I was so used to
didn't know.
regular console
One thing.
games, I was looking for like the pause button, the
should keep
save
moving.
button.
I
I'm
know,
like,
I was the
why?
same way.
Like, what if I have to get
Yeah.
up? And,
Yep, there's no pause, there's no save. It all just kind of happens on the fly.
Yep. Do you want to show? Oh my!
Oh.
So metal.
Show nothing. Did you want to show just kind of the button layout for PS4 at least?
There we go.
We had previously showed the layout for Xbox One on the road ahead, I think back in February. So just to kind of show you guys the gist of
And go
PS4
back
controls.
to templates if you would, and scroll to the. So we provide a couple of alternate layouts for the gamepad here as well. People have different play styles. I believe it's currently, is it simply normal and alternate that we're giving? Yeah, default.
Default and alternate.
And alternate. These are things that there's so much to do, like in the game, and that we often had wished, like, gosh, if only there were 4 more buttons on the game controller. Oh gosh, if only there were 12 more buttons on the game controller. There's definitely many ways to do different things. We've provided like two different control schemes. We're certainly open to hearing about others. We certainly have tested other control schemes in game. While we were developing, these two are the ones that stuck and seem to resonate best with most people.
So Gary, I noticed there's a vibration option, obviously for the Rumble Pack. What does that do in the game?
It's fantastic. It actually really brings combat to life. While I wouldn't go as far as to say, like, wow, I really felt the steel hitting leather. It definitely adds a lot.
Makes lockpicking awesome.
It makes lockpicking fantastic, but just to have like a bit of tactile feedback when you land a blow, or when like you're pulling off a skill, or perhaps even like, you know, drawing, maybe perhaps you're using a bow to attack somebody. We've spent quite a bit of time figuring out like different vibration stages that let you know that, okay, my spell has charged up. My bow is pulled back as far as it can go. My heavy attack is now ready to fire. There's like a lot of really subtle cueing that happens while using like various abilities, while using weapons, lockpicking. Of course, it's a really nice add.
That's cool.
I think this guy wants to fight.
He
I
really
think
wants
so
to fight
too.
you. He's been waiting.
Oh, he wasn't so bad.
It's like you do this for a living.
Hey,
Well played,
leveled up.
Found my skill points.
May as well.
Stamina.
A god of brutality knows of your escape.
What should I get?
Hurry.
Let's go with puncturing strikes.
All right. Well, do we want to leave Lyris to the Wailing Prison and check out a higher level character?
I think she can handle it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have a level 10 character, kind of already made. We cheated a little bit ahead of time. But we are going to jump to another area, just kind of show a little bit more gameplay and delve into just, you know, more of the specifics.
Some of the more social systems and UI, regular gameplay. So as we're loading in, what's the level 10 character? Do you remember? I don't.
I think it's a red guard.
Aha!
Yep.
Okay,
Sorcerer.
yeah, Sorcerer, Imperial.
Yep.
And do me a favor, if you would, and just go ahead and zoom in and rotate and show that character off a bit. The level of detail on these is just fantastic.
It is. Vlad, you should grow your hair out and do that.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, I'll get right on that. Hopping into Ardon, you guys. I'm waiting to see how long it's going to take for people to track
To
him
find
down.
us. Yeah.
They're really sneaky.
So, people want to see some first person. They want
Okay.
to see third person. We'll show all
Yeah,
that.
we should definitely show the zooming in and out.
Right. So
There you are.
Here I am. And we're going to go into first person.
Your weapon looks like a disco ball.
So this is beta, so we sometimes see texture issues.
There it
we
goes.
go.
Right. Let's go see if we can fight somebody. Let's go.
Somebody was asking if ESO for console is going to be updated to the latest patch. It will.
Yes.
That's it. That's your answer.
All right, so you're going to assign your skills and attributes now?
Yep.
All right.
And you can assign any skill to any of those buttons, right? It doesn't have to be in the order.
Yep.
That's correct, yeah.
So I'll purchase this and put it right here on my R1.
So while Vlad is doing this, Gary, everyone is asking about text or chat. Text chat. Sorry. I kind of had a word vomit there.
A moment,
They're noticing it's not really here. And that is by design. And
That is by design.
that is how it's going to be when we launch, correct?
The launching product will have no text chat.
Okay.
And I know it sounds sort of crazy. What we found while developing is it's one thing to have text chat when you're sitting at your keyboard and have a desk and have a stable surface to place a keyboard, and your hands are basically already there. We found text chat at this time. Well, let me put it like another way. We are very much targeting a sitting on the couch, kicking back and playing kind of experience. Text chat, at least as we had stood it up during development, did not meet that criteria. What we have provided instead, which I think is actually pretty cool, it's not on this current. It's not in this build at the moment. It's what we call a quick messaging system, and it's a pretty straightforward affair. It works very much like a custom emote, where you're given like really like a handful, like quite a number of just very basic, like commonly used phrases. Things like yes, no, let's trade, hey, do you want a group? I'm going over there, meet me over there. I mean, you kind of get the picture. They're very just sort of generic, but very commonly used things. We looked at a lot of chat logs actually to determine like, well, what phrases are we going to pre-select? At that point, you can actually just assign them to your emote wheel, and you can trigger them as you choose to go. With that said, maybe if you can go for a sec, Vlad, to the emote section.
Sure.
Give you a bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. Although this feature is, as I say, this feature is not on this current build. It shows up at the top of this list as something that's, I believe the label is either quick chat, quick messaging, something like along those lines.
Sure.
But just as we're seeing these emotes over there, that's where we would see the phrases that I'm talking about. And go ahead if you would, Vlad, and yes. And so you assign them to the emote wheel, just as Vlad is doing over here.
And there is the voice chat as well, integrated.
We have, yes, voice chat is fully integrated. That just pretty much works. As soon as you get into the game, you're basically hearing area chat. You're hearing stuff that's going on around you. If you were to join a group, you're automatically placed into a private group channel. That's just for you and your group members. That's a seamless handoff. Similarly, if you join a guild, you're placed in like a guild channel. From the VoIP settings manager, you're able to choose where do I want to speak and where do I want to listen. You can mute everything, or you can speak in like one of those channels like at a given time and listen to like another. So what we're seeing here are, go ahead and trigger one of those emotes again if you would.
Sure.
So imagine, if you would, that where it says, like, say, follow me, or, you know, I forget what the other emotes, like, up there are. What we do instead is we show a chat bubble on top of your player's head. He seems to have passed out at the moment, but that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing to support. There's like a lot of people who don't necessarily want to talk on VoIP. Perhaps they don't like the sound of their voice. Perhaps there's someone sleeping. There's solid reasons that, you know, you might not want to use like voice chat like all the time. We feel like this quick chat feature was our best bet at providing the convenience of being able to do text chat, but also providing the convenience of being able to kick back on the couch and operate the system with like basically one hand.
And of course, we're listening to feedback as always, so we have seen the feedback about chat. Hey, it's Kai.
Yep. Let's group up.
He's stalking you.
He is. So it looks like all the icons in the compass are the same, maybe with the exception of the self-placed indicator.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
What we're seeing down at the lower right-hand side is apparently Kai, he must have a microphone and headphone setup. He's saying something.
He's talking.
We can't hear it, but we do see his presence, an indication of him saying something down there.
Okay.
So that area chat, there's a question that came up a little bit ago. It's actually somebody that's currently playing in beta, Crazy Madski,
Okay.
who's one of our streamers.
Yep.
She was saying that the chat system for console area seems to be about 20 meters. She was asking, does it go away if you're in a group? The area chat.
Right, no, it doesn't.
Okay.
You can, I forget what we were calling it, like at the time, like voice plus one or something like that. I don't remember what it meant. But basically, you can be speaking, you can be listening to any two channels simultaneously. For example, area chat and your group channel. However, you can only be speaking in one of them at any given time, and you can choose which one you want to be speaking with. If you join a group, you're automatically speaking in group chat. You would have to, if you'd like to speak in area chat, you'd have to go to the settings and say, hey, turn on area chat. But you can always be listening. It can be kind of weird when that system was broken, actually, and we were only hearing like one channel at a time. It felt incredibly strange. You kind of get used to voice chat is the thing. You get like really used to the sounds of people around you. When that just got cut off, like immediately, it felt like, oh, well, it's almost as though you had gone deaf, quite frankly. And so that's why we do it that way.
And there are some options for voice chat to kind of tweak it to how you want.
And similarly, I mean, if you were in a guild and a group simultaneously, you could be listening to group chat and speaking to your guild, or vice versa. You could be listening to your guild and speaking to your group. There's any number of combinations, but basically, you know, you can listen to two, speak in one.
Rocky Steel in chat was just asking if there's going to be mute options. So I know you can turn area chat off.
There are mute options, yes, and they can be on a per player. On a per channel player, which on a per channel basis, which is just like basically turning a channel on or off, or they can be on a per player basis as well.
And is that per account, like ignoring?
It's by gamer tag.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is by gamer tag or PSN ID.
Okay. So if you find somebody who is spamming something that you don't like, you can put them on voice ignore.
Such a lovely day for a stroll past.
Hey!
Ah, hello.
There he is.
Hello.
You called the Inheritance are racist. This one is Oridan for the.
Yeah, totally cutting them off.
Let's see. We've looked at the zoom in and zoom out.
Yep. Let's add Kai as a friend.
Okay.
We should. Kai is our friend.
Oh, that's odd that it's not showing him automatically, giving the two to run into him.
Yeah, I think it's a buffer on it.
There he is.
And just to point out, that friend request can happen in a number of places. It can happen from the friends list, just as we saw over here, where we initiated like a friend request and then pulled up the first party dashboard to complete that. Or if you happen to be, you know, right in front of the person, you can certainly use the radial and initiate like a lot of those things as well, like add friend, invite to group, initiate a trade, view their gamer tag or profile, that sort of thing. You could do it from what we call from any social menu, which is to say from a friend list, from a guild roster, even actually from the VoIP settings. There's like a VoIP setting that lets you show all the participants who happen to be on that channel. It's a common set of social options. There's many ways to add a friend.
Great. All right, so you guys are now added. Oh, somebody found us. So, gosh, you guys look lonely. I think you need a pet out.
Yep. Let's see if we have any. Oh, we do.
Actually, can you go to the crown store and buy something?
Yep.
Do we have the appropriate funds?
Yeah, we should have some
Yes.
crowns.
Excellent. Oh, it looks like our prices are severely discounted.
Yeah, everybody on beta is at 1 crown right now, so you can go on a shopping spree. That's cool.
And just
So
to
that
be
is the
clear,
preview.
these characters in beta and everything you're purchasing, that is not going to roll over to live
Right.
when this launches.
I say we stick with this one.
It's pretty cool. Oh,
Drop
somebody's
her.
trying to fight you.
And do you have a mount?
No, I don't.
You should get
believe I
one.
Oh man, that cat's not in this one. On this build, that's a shame.
do. Some guars.
Yeah.
And there's another guar. Let's go with this one.
I like the stripes. Just, do you know, when we do the transfer for those who are eligible,
Yep.
do the achievements transfer over also?
Yes.
I
Yes.
thought they did.
They do. There's actually very few things that don't transfer over. I'm trying. I know we have a KB article on
We
our
do.
support page. I know that I want to say that crowns don't transfer over. Your guild, your friends list. I can't recall if it was anything else. But anything
There is a
you-
KB article though listing out.
Yeah, anything you purchase with crowns, your achievements, everything in your inventory, in your bank, all of that does transfer with you, so you don't lose any progress.
Somebody was just asking if you can change the volume in the game to increase chat volume but decrease the game volume so you can hear everyone better. I'm pretty sure that's in there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we have, it's very similar to what we have in the PC, where
Right.
there's a couple different levels of different types of volumes that can be adjusted independently.
There it all
There they
is.
are.
One thing I should kind of mention here, as long as we're in this menu, some of these menus can actually get longish. I believe like an inventory, you could have up to 200, or is it 100? I forget which. Inventory slots. And one thing that we've added to ease navigation through long lists, if you press the left and right triggers, you'll automatically jump like to the various headings
Oh, that's nice.
in here. Yeah, it's super convenient. We don't really call it out like on the hint bar, or we probably mention it like in help. But like kind of once you start using it, it becomes like very easy to just navigate. In particular through like inventory lists and vendor lists and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Since we brought up the console transfer offer, there's been a couple questions. Just to clarify, this is a copy. So once
Yes.
that happens, the progression for the character will be separate. So you can still play PC, but that progression will be completely separate from your console progression.
Yeah, it's like taking a stamp of your character at a specific time, and we will let everybody know when that is. We don't have a date set yet, but it will be before console launch. We'll take a stamp and we'll copy at that point your character from PC and Mac over to both PS4 and Xbox One. So regardless of if
No
you're
more
buying
delays. Ready
just
for
one,
cargo today.
your characters will
I'm just
actually be on
waiting for the
both,
order to come through.
and North America and Europe. So all four servers.
Think of it like when we do PTS testing for major content updates, we'll sometimes take a copy of one of the mega servers.
Yeah.
And whatever progress you make on one doesn't affect the other.
Right.
Do you remember when that offer expires?
The transfer? Oh gosh, it was for a month.
It was a month from when you received the email.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting a nice little following there.
Yep, I think they're gonna kill those guys.
Oh. There he goes.
There's our guy.
How is she made
Have you stolen from anyone yet? I'm
Not
sorry,
yet.
I've been kind of watching chat flying by.
I don't know if I should steal from this guard.
No.
Probably not.
We're not gonna
40%
take that
chance
risk.
of detection.
You'd probably be better off.
Oh, they're all
For
saying May 9th.
An
is-
inventory space.
is the-
May 9th?
yes.
Okay.
Thank you,
That
guys.
sounds right. Yeah.
So many dates.
Let's steal from this right here.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a much better chance.
There we go. No one saw us? Nope.
The perfect crime.
Let's see if there's an outlaw refuge around here.
So how are you controlling the map like that? It's with the little
Yep.
touchpad, right? Or whatever you call
the
that thing.
touchpad opens the map, and you use the left and right stick
Yeah.
to navigate. You can use L2 and R to just zoom in or zoom out.
Oh, that's nice.
You can also use any way shrine you would find. So if I
Yep.
hold down L2, you can look at the
Wow.
entire Tamriel map. And zoom in. And there's a way shrine right there.
Now you gotta find him again.
Who is that swinging at you?
I don't know.
Joker.
It's the weekend. Let's fight.
They need to go to that fight club.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so quick travel via way shrines.
Yep.
Always handy.
And also, a cool feature that I love, you can set your own destination on the map.
Yeah.
And it appears
That's
on
what
your
that little
compass.
diamond is that was appearing in your compass?
Yep.
Yep.
Your set destination. Let's find a refuge. There's one.
That is definitely handy.
Gary, do you know if we'll be offering voice chat for PC at some point?
There has been some talk. There's definitely been some talk about it. Undetermined.
That's fair.
Yeah.
At least we're talking. What about the UI? I think that's also been chit chat. Internal chit chat.
Oh, what part of it?
Oh.
Oh, all of it. Just people wondering if they'll be able to use the console UI that was shown here on PC.
Oh.
Specifically with gamepads or?
Just the UI.
That comes up actually a lot internally, and you know, we develop on internal builds that have gamepad support as a debug option, and it actually works really well in a lot of cases. There's some cases where it doesn't. There's a lot that goes into a decision like that. For example, the two UIs, while they are functionally equivalent, they look very different. And so there's actually a bit of concern from like basically switching from one to another and just sort of providing like a very schizophrenic kind of experience. There's additional technical reasons why we don't do that. Right now. It's certainly interesting. I will say that it's definitely interesting to see how your playstyle changes when you're able to switch between like the PC UI and the console UI, like on a PC. It's actually fascinating to me, like how my playstyle changes depending on which. That for me is like a very strong argument for including gamepad support. I think it adds like another level of just enjoyment, or just another level, if you will, to the game. But that's something that really has not gotten beyond. We don't have any official plans to
That's
do
still
so.
kind of in discussion.
Yeah. Personally, I'd love to see it happen.
So we've kind of touched on this before in the, oh, here we are, we're back here. We've touched on this before in the past. Our current focus right now is getting this console build launched well. And we are still doing incremental patches on PC, but we do have teams working on future content, which...
Like Rothgar.
Like Rothgar, Zeb was here, said it himself. Imperial City also being worked on, and those will come to PC and console.
Yep. After
console. I mean, really, console launch is what? A few weeks away.
Yeah, it's just
Don't
a little
say that.
over 6 weeks away at this point.
I don't even want to say that. So much to do.
So can you, oh, you're, oh
my.
I know.
I can cancel it.
Where do your buffs show up?
buffs
on
would
console?
Oh, right, we did talk about that earlier.
Character menu. So my active effect is currently my costume.
Okay.
And if I were to add a skill, let's say, I don't know if I have anything unlocked yet. Let's say regen. Do I have? I don't have a sniff for it. Let's see if we actually have anything that could apply a buff.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if
Oh, I thought somebody was trying to kill you again.
I could try.
see,
There we go.
There it
Yep.
is. Yep. Our familiar appears there.
Right
So any
on.
buffs you would get from skills would appear in your character menu.
Right.
As well as your title and your attributes.
Okay.
Cool.
Do we have anything to take a look at crafting?
Yep. We teleport back.
Wow. This
guy
person really
found
wants
me.
to punch you. Wow.
Love the loading screens.
Yeah.
There's some really nice ones that we created for
Yeah.
console, some new ones.
They're really beautiful.
We will try and get those up on the website, maybe as some wallpapers.
The Molag bar one is so metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that one before Whaling Prison. So in chat, let us know if there's anything in particular that you want to see that we haven't shown off yet.
Somebody was saying the guy trying to punch him is going to get banned. We won't ban you.
Alright, so here are the crafting area. I think it's still loading.
Yeah.
So just mention that.
Hello. For those who are participating in beta, just a reminder that, man, Wreck Havoc is sending you a lot of messages.
There it is.
Just a reminder that beta is going to end Monday at 10 a.m., right?
Yep.
10 a.m. Eastern Time. We will be sending out a survey for you, and if you also want to put any feedback or bug reports in the form section that we have open, you are more than welcome.
Deconstruct some stuff so we can get some nice materials.
Oh, this is a good question, Vlad. Maybe you know. Somebody was asking how sorcerers will be using the gamepad to command their summoned pets to attack or recall.
Yep, so if you map your, let's say I map my unstable familiar to my L1, I can just press L1 again and he'll disappear. So it's pretty easy. Nice and intuitive.
All right.
Yep. Let's see what we're missing. Alright, style.
If you're working, we tap.
Actually, it's easier to just do the crafting quest. Let's see. Should be one around here. There it is.
Are you able to change the chat volume for talking to other players?
I think this would be a question for Karen.
Like raising your own volume?
I guess, or if you're in a group talking with those specific players. I think that's through the PlayStation headset, right?
Yeah, I don't believe that's exposed as an in-game option. That's more of like a first-party console
Authorized
setting.
to train. Good. There is much more. I keep provisions. Should coin. When you're
Right,
ready,
it's roasted
find
pig.
me by the cookie.
Let's do it.
So here's where our recipe is.
I have a new respect for all the streamers that we have who are able to juggle chat and playing and doing everything. I mean,
Oh, I know, that's
all I'm doing is watching Vlad and trying to
Yeah.
watch chat, and I'm struggling.
And let's go back and find that guy.
So you've been grouped with Kai this whole time. How do you see him as a
He
group
would
member?
appear as a pin on my map.
Okay,
you see right here.
Yep, yep.
He's been
And
saw
he
it
would-
following along.
Yep.
Yep, and there he is in game. I can also
Hamburglar.
travel him at any point. So I would go into multiplayer, group, and then go over to Kai and travel to player.
Great.
Or promote him to the leader of this group.
Let's see his gamer tag.
This one has eyes.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, Kai, please have nothing inappropriate in your gamer tag.
Yep.
We might have just created this account yesterday. All right, so I think after we do a little cooking here, we're gonna be wrapping up. So if you have any last minute questions for
When you're
Gary
ready,
or Vlad, or
find
would like
me
to
by
see
the
anything
cookie.
else, please let us know in chat.
Ooh, a pork.
Let's talk to him. And he's going to have us
No.
cook it.
Should- When you're ready, find me by the cookie.
And there we have it.
All right.
Roast pig.
So it looks very similar to the crafting
Yep.
window for PC and Mac.
Your command.
And then you can get obviously get more certifications if you like.
All right, do we have any last questions?
Porky, that's all.
Oh, that was the poor pig on that table.
Yep.
Oh no. Someone's pet got eaten.
Oh, is there a field of view slider on console?
No, there is not.
Okay.
All right. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us.
Thank you for
Thank you as
having us.
well.
Yeah, thanks
And
so much.
thank you, everybody, for the questions and for watching along with us.
And we will be sharing out other streams from players who are going through beta this weekend, so keep an eye out.
Yep. Some really good ones.
So, last giveaway for this show, we are going to be giving away this guy.
Nice.
This one, but sealed. So, the secret word that you type into chat is going to be console
Aha.
for obvious reasons.
We have broken the trend.
Indeed. So, if you want your very own Netch plush,
Whoa.
sealed in plastic, untouched by any human, type console into chat.
Has not
And-
been on anybody's head.
I mean, can if you want.
Oh, are people wearing those as hats?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's
It
awesome.
kind of fits pretty well because you can
Oh
move
my
his
gosh.
legs so it fits nice and tight on your head.
We've actually gotten requests for beanies
Oh my gosh.
of these guys.
Yes.
The little.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Winner, please. Winner for the Netch. Oh man, get off me. Is MetGod666. Congratulations. Where are we? We're over here.
Congrats
Congratulations.
for your new hat.
We're over here now. Jason will be in touch with you on Twitch chat. Supply your address, and we will get this little guy shipped out to you.
Yep.
And just as a reminder, The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited for console is available for pre-order on the PlayStation Store for North America and Europe, and it will be available a little bit later for Xbox One.
Yep.
There you have it.
That wraps up our show. We actually have one last thing we want to mention before we go. We will be having a console presentation live stream in French and German tomorrow, starting at noon.
Yes.
So if you are one of our French or German community members, we will have Kai Schober and Mikhail Servot on. I believe we're doing German first. So it'll be around an hour in German, and then Mikhail will take over. Same sort of presentation in French. So we hope that you will tune in. We'll post another reminder on social media just in case.
Yep.
So that is it. We will be back on May 8th with our next ESO Live. We hope you will join us.
I'm not going to join you.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm going to Vegas. Woo! Anyway, tell us what you thought of the show today. We always welcome your feedback. Like to improve however we can.
And if you have any fan creations you would like to send us, as always, we'd love to see them. Send them to us at community@elderscrollsonline.com. That could be fan art, that could be an Ouroboros cake, it could be tattoos, it could be cosplay, you know, anything you created.
Indeed. Well, it was good seeing you guys again, and we will see you in Tamriel.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.